Hey guys, Jack here. Stick around after today's episode to hear how new clients can save 50% on AgYield's full suite of consulting and technology for 2025. This exclusive offer is available now until April 1st. Don't miss out. Terms and conditions apply. Check out the video description to learn more.
Good morning, everybody. It's Monday, January 27th, and this is the AgYield War Room. Dan Dempsey, and I'll be moderating today's session. As always, if you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to drop us a line in the chat area, and we'll be sure to get to it during the show. Overnight markets here at March corn down 7 1/4 at 479 1/4. March soybeans were down 10 1/2 at 1045 1/4, and March Chicago wheat was down 5 1/4 at 538 3/4. This morning, we had an export sales announcement, 139,000 metric tons of corn to Mexico, and this was for 24. Good morning, guys. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. Lots going on, from tariff news with Colombia to us, continuously coming up on that February 1st, what people are calling Tariff Day, essentially for China and Mexico. Interesting to see a sale to Mexico here this morning. But looks like weaker overnight on the heels of maybe some rain some good rains in certain parts of South America, and outside markets weaker here this morning. So Dustin, maybe a few thoughts to kick us off here, and we'll throw it around the room.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Some rains in Argentina. Forecast is halfway decent. We do have to remember how dry they've been coming into this, though, and we are expecting some trendline yield losses. Unless we, just with the calendar date here, as far as we've gone into that part of their season. I think the overnight weakness in grains may be somewhat related to outside markets. I mean, this is a huge move in the equity markets. Energy prices are lower. I think this is kind of a risk off. We know funds are long corn, long at the front end of the market. The front end's dropped a bit. We also know, a little bit drier forecast for Brazil might help with their second season planting. They've been a little bit behind last year's pace on the harvest for beans. So second season corn planting might pick up a little pace. Other than that, I really can't say exactly why. We're not getting a clear direction from currencies, but risk off in the just like that global number might be what was the big hubbub overnight.
Yeah, Justin, we talked about it going home on Friday that just, we're finally into a period of it's news headlines, and there's a lot going on geopolitically across the world. And I guess these moves are something we can just become more accustomed to. What are your thoughts here this morning?
Yeah, I agree. And we were talking about it yesterday, but the Nasdaq's down almost 800 points. Right. So we've got a lot of money flowing around, a lot of headlines to follow. We've got, new AI news out of China. You got these tariffs. I mean, Trump is making a lot of moves quick too. So there's going to be a lot of this, I think, try and dissect what it all means. And, at the end of the day, my opinion on the tariff is that it's going to hurt Colombia way more than us, so I think it'll get resolved pretty quick. If you look at the fine print, right, it's on our tariffs are on the sidelines because they've basically agreed to everything Trump demanded within basically a couple hours. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's kind of crazy that any country won't take back their own residents. So I think this will get resolved. So I don't think it's fundamentally a big deal. Obviously it's, the market was almost record long, the funds. So it's due for any kind of negative news, for kind of a liquidation type thing. But I think it's still, you got to kind of go with the trend still. So I think we'll see a setbacks here, but I think they'll be bought.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to follow the timeline of these tariff talks on Twitter. Right. Yeah. But it came out and Trump threatened to tariff them. And then did they come out and threaten to tariff the U.S.? Yeah. And then there was a deal after that, or was the Colombia tariffs after the deal?
So Trump Trump said 25% tariffs going to 50% in 7 days. They said they'll come get the prisoners or the whoever.
Right.
And then that they're going to put a 25% tariff on the U.S. And then Trump said, this is my timeline. Trump said that our 25% is in holding, assuming they hit all the things that they said they're going to hit. We won't put the 25% tariff on. So again, I personally think it's the stock market down so sharp. Money flow, people just kind of getting on the sidelines for a second here, seeing how some things play out. You can see that when the news came out that our 25% tariff was going to be on the sideline, we rallied. Corn was only down a couple. Now like I said, Nasdaq's down 800 points. That's, I think probably getting some people getting out of stuff.
Yeah,
but
Bitcoin down 4,500. I mean, yeah, you can see it's money moving big time here. Justin, what were your thoughts on commitment of traders? They continue to buy it week over week. We thought that we saw that with open interest the way it was, but boy, 322,000 longs it's pretty stout.
Yeah, we're same with cattle. We're getting to record territory in open interest and in fund long position. So trend is your friend. I mean, they're gonna, the thing is the fund position is interesting because there's so much money in these markets now that if there's a bull market, there'll be record long every time. It's kind of like kind of joke about crush. Like if you keep building more crush facilities, you're going to have record crush every month. If you have more money and more, bigger position limits, you're going to have record positions when there's when the technicals turn up or the fundamentals turn up. So you could try to make that a bearish argument. Right. So far they've been right. They've been right the whole way. They flipped at the lows and they've been building the whole way up. So I would think they're here to stay for a little bit.
Very good. Any other thoughts, guys, from the room here this morning? Just before we move on, everybody good? We'll just keep an eye on stuff. It's I'm certain that we'll have news headlines to go for the rest of the week here, so we'll keep everybody up to speed. Rylan, along that theme, we've got a lot of news for cattle here this morning to digest. Most notably, that cattle on feed report number from Friday,
right?
And then hogs. It's going to be interesting how hogs shake off these outside markets here this morning. So why don't you start us off for the week?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was definitely much higher cash trade than expected. I think it just kind of feels like a gravy train right now. Cash is like 6 to 8 higher. We saw some late trade, 210 to 211 in the South for live. Dress 328, 330. I mean, these numbers are absolutely mind-boggling. And then on top of that, you get a pretty bullish response to the cattle on feed report, mainly because placements were about 5% off the average guess, coming in at 97%. So overall, I think the report is a good explanation for why we are here right now. But overall, it does seem like there's still some risks here. I mean, beef market was set back pretty good. We've got potential tariffs going on Mexico. We've got the inventory report on Friday. So there's still a lot to kind of focus on, but right now it just feels like the near-term fundamentals, just supply tightness is still going to continue to pervade the trade right now. So I think that's really what everybody's watching. If there's going to be any meaningful setback in beef, maybe we can finally see these cash prices start to kind of stabilize a little bit. But as Justin said before, the trend is your friend, and it's tough to fight it. It almost feels like we're in the end game a little bit if the border reopens and the tariffs aren't as bad as people are expecting, just because there's a lot of money on one side of the market right now. It's all pretty much long, and obviously, like, there's some big risk as we get to record high prices and just continuously moving higher. So we just want to recommend everybody stay pretty well protected at this stage of the game, just in case. But overall, the news is really good. We'd expect a higher opening today, so we'll see how that all kind of shakes out. Yeah, but yeah, on the hog side of things, just kind of a lackluster week. It felt like it did a lot just to come back and close above the 10-day moving average in Feb. Cold storage numbers are still historically low, 400 million pounds. for the December number. I don't think it was too much of a shock that inventory was below last year at 427. So overall, I think you got a little bit of friendliness from that, but still some cautious trade leading into the end of the week. Cutout was down 8, but bellies were back up. So I mean, it seems like we could be in for a little bit of a wild ride, especially just what's going on in the outside markets. But generally, with cash kind of starting to weaken up here, maybe a little bit of concern early on.
Very good. Appreciate the update there, Rye. We'll keep everybody posted on any changes that come down in your side of the market. So with that, we'll wrap for this morning. One thing to note, keep in mind Jack's outro, again, for folks that are looking for maybe a second opinion or bounce some ideas. We got crop insurance going to be coming up here pretty quick. A lot of volatility in the market. So if you got any questions or want to bounce around some ideas, give us a call. We're running a great deal on all of our suite of technology services and consulting services here till April 1st. So just give us a call. We can visit. Again, appreciate everybody that tunes in on a daily basis. If you wouldn't mind, throw us a like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything to do so, and I'll keep you up to speed on everything that's going on with AgYield. So again, thanks to everybody that supports the show every day. We're doing this live every day that the markets are open at 8:15 Central Time, streaming live on X, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live. Hope everybody has a good start to the week, and we look forward to talking to you again tomorrow.
At AgYield, we know that farmers are constantly confronted by new challenges, and 2025 is no exception. Markets are volatile, margins are shrinking, and lender confidence is in free fall. Farmers need industry support now more than ever, which is why we are offering something truly unprecedented. From now until April 1st, new AgYield clients can access our full suite of consulting services and cutting-edge technology at 50% off. This is more than a promotion. It's our way of extending a hand of support to farmers when they need it most. From precision grain marketing to innovative risk management strategies, we're committed to protecting your farm's profitability and building a stronger, more sustainable future. And together, we can weather the storm ahead. Visit us today at agyield.com or call 855-266-6241 to get started. Terms and conditions apply. Check out the video description to learn more.